Hey, welcome back, friends. Gabriel Kevin here. How are you today? Hope you're having a awesome day or an awesome day. I am. So it's really going well because today I want to talk about another installment in my music tutorials that covers mixing, recording, mastering, songwriting, producing, all kinds of stuff. So check them all out. But today I want to talk about something, and I do have four different recordings, tutorials for recording because there's so much to cover. And this is one thing that I really, really like in Studio One. Now, I use Studio One as my DAW, DAW, Digital Audio Workstation, if you didn't know what that meant. And there's Pro Tools and all other kinds out there. They're all great. I'm not promoting any. I just happen to like Studio One because I like it's kind of intuitive and there's drag and drop, and I've gotten really used to it. So everything we do here and in my other tutorials, I talk about concepts, and then I also talk about the application of how it applies to a DAW and to your actual, technical workings to get to that end product of that beautiful piece of art called your song. So, check out my other four tutorials on recording, and today is one that I really like. It is talking about layers. Ooh, layers. Layers are cool. And I know how to do these in Studio One, which is I'm going to show you, but I'm pretty sure you can do it in other DAWs. So if you use a different DAW and you do something like this in that, please put in the comments. There's no right or wrong. Music is subjective, so everything is good. And I promote a community of musicians and artists and producers and everybody. So I just think we all should help each other out. So put comments in and let's get moving here. So layers. What is layers? What are layers? Layers. Okay, so here we have, I created an audio mono track, this one here, that has the record button on, and I have it solo, so we can only have to hear this. So layers are a cool way of doing a recording and then doing another recording onto the same track. Perfect application for that would be a vocalist. You have a vocalist singing, and he or she sings the verse. Great job. Hey, let's do it again. You're not going to do another track. Let's keep it on the same track. And it just kind of stacks. If you can almost visually see it, it stacks behind it. And the way this works, actually, you'll see it comes down below when you visually see it, but it's really all on that one track. And then the cool part is after you take, say, 3, 4 different takes, you can choose pieces of each one of them to make the final track. That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's get into it. So first we're going to look at doing layers manually, and then we're going to look at a cool thing called takes to layers. When you record, it just creates a layer. So let's start with the basics here. So on this track here, I am going to right click. I'm going to come down to layers, and I'm going to add a layer. Now you can duplicate layers and rename layers. You can remove a layer. That's all great stuff. We're just going to work on add a layer. So we're going to add a layer. But before we add a layer, let's do something. Let's do a recording. Okay, so I'm going to record my voice, and here we go. I am now recording my voice on this first take, just like a vocalist would do. Stop, go. Okay, now I want to do another take. So right click, layers, add layer. Ta-da! It took the recording, the first one, and it moved it down to layer 1. Okay, now there's a little button here that you can open and close your layers. So if you have a lot of layers and you've already finished everything, but you want to keep your layers and you don't want to see it visually, you can just click this button and they all go away, but they're not gone. They're just not visually there. So, okay, so that was a take to layer. Now, what can I do here? I can actually bring that back up. There's a little arrow here, and I can bring that back up to the main track, because when you hit play, the normal play button, the only thing that's going to be played is what's on the track. So I could have 5 layers down here, but only the one that's on the track is going to go into the final mix. So how do you switch layers back and forth? So let's do one more layer. So let's do this. So we'll do another recording. This is layer 2. I'm adding to this now that, say, the vocalist has just done another take. Fine. I'm going to go a little longer. Stop. Now I want to add another layer because I want to do another recording. So now it has both of these. So there's layer 1 and layer 2. Now wait a minute, I want to hear this one, but I can't hear it because it's not on the track. So this little arrow here puts it back up, and it shifts the layers. Okay, and I can put this one back up, and it shifts the layers. Now this one's blank because that was the one that was on the track originally, because there was nothing there. So there are actually 3 layers here. And I put that one back up. So now we're back to where we were. Hopefully that helps. So just play with these arrows here, and you'll see it just moves the one that you click on to the track. And remember, the blank one is also a layer. So there's 3 layers here. Okay? So and to prove that, when I hit this one up, you notice the one down here says layer 3, which was the one that was on the track that has nothing on it. So number of layers are the number of layers below plus the track. So that's 3. Okay, so that's how you bring them back and forth. So what if I want to listen to this one? Do I have to hit this arrow every time to go up there so I can hear it? No. Up here, there's a thing called the listening tool. If I hover over it, it should say listening tool. Okay, now it's kind of like a little box with a speaker. So I don't have to do that. I can just grab the listening tool, and wherever I click on this take, it'll start playing. But you got to hold the left side of the mouse down. Now recording my voice on this first take. And when I let go, it stops. So I could do it here. Take, just like a vocalist would do. And then I could do it here. Just done another take. Fine. So you can preview real quickly what you have on these layers or these takes. So takes and layers are kind of the same thing. Okay, so that listening tool is really important if you don't want to have to keep moving everything up and down. Okay, so let's get out of that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a lot of undos just to get back out of this. Done. Now we're back to nothing. Okay, so that's how you manually add layers. Now, you have a vocalist, say an impatient vocalist, and that vocalist sang the first verse, and then you go, well, hold on, let me create a layer, and you create the layer, and I know it's not that hard, but you still have to do that, and then you got to create another layer, and another layer, and you have to do it manually. But in Studio One, and if it's in other DAWs, great, put in the comments. Down here, record mode, where it says replace, which means it will replace on top of whatever you had recorded previously, which you want to keep on. Next to that is takes to layers. So you click that, and it highlights it. Now, I'm sure you can guess what's going to happen. I'll put the cursor back here. Now, when I hit record, let's see what happens. I'm the vocalist, and I am now singing the first time for this verse. I really like what I sang. Look what it did. It took that recording, and it put it into a layer automatically. Pretty cool. Now, okay. Oh, that was great. Here, ready? Sing again. I'm now the vocalist again, and I'm singing the second time. And I'm going to let it go a little longer, and I really like that one too. Now you have 2 takes. Now the original recording will stay up here because it's allowing you to hear it when you play it, because you're not manually. It's just taking every recording that you do, and it's putting it into a layer, and then leaving the original one up there. Okay, so we can do. Let's just do one more. Okay, I'm recording the third time. I'll make this one, about right there. Okay, it's kind of funky because what it did is it kind of color codes where you're at. So this one here is that take. And now this here is the reason why that's split, is because this always preserves, when you do record takes to layers, it always preserves exactly what you recorded. So I recorded that and stopped in the middle. This is the other part of this guy here. So it's color coding saying this is your second take, but up here it is doing exactly how normal recording would happen. Okay, cool. So let's see, what do we have here? So we have the 3 takes. So what we can do is, let's just say, okay, I want to now pick and choose from these. So first of all, I'm going to, since I have all these already below, I'm going to delete that. You don't have to, but I'm going to delete it. Use the eraser tool. There. Okay, so now I have nothing here, and I have 3 takes. Let's use the listening tool. I'm the vocalist, and I am now singing the first time for this verse. I really like what I sang. Okay, now remember when I deleted and removed that what was on that top track, it got rid of all this color coding down here. And the color code was just trying to let you know that I had stopped that recording midway through on that main track. I hope that makes sense. Because when you do record the takes, that main track is going to be just as if you're doing any other type of recording. So if you stop in the middle, it's going to have the end part still there. Okay, now let's hear this one. I'm now the vocalist again, and I'm singing the second time. And I'm going to let it. Okay. And remember, you have to hold the left mouse down in order for the listening tool to work. Okay. I'm recording the third time. I'll make this one, Okay, cool. All right. Now, I want to take a piece of this one, and a piece of this one, and a piece of this one, and take each of the pieces as if it was one performance. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this up here, this toggle snap, or what I like to call snap to grid. And if you look at my arranger track tutorial and other recording things about using the metronome, it's very important to learn how to use a snap. Now what it does is it'll take the cursor and it'll snap it to these grid lines. And the grid lines are defined in intervals based on these notes here, but that's in another tutorial. So anyway, the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to start at the beginning here, and I'm going to take it to about right here. So I have my pointer tool on. Now, if you notice something, the pointer tool looks like a pointer, but once I go into the layer, it looks like something that's going to do a range. So I'm going to start here, and all I'm going to do is just drag and do a range to, say, here. Is that cool or what? That's all I had to do. Now it put that range of that performance into the main track, because the main track's the final one. Now, and the reason why I use snap to grid, because now I can just pick up right here, because it's going to align it perfectly. And I'm going to take, let's go down here. Let's take this guy here. So I'm going to take this one and go to here. And then I'm just doing it randomly. Obviously, you do it between the phrases or whatever the person's saying. And then I'm going to take this one up there. Now, I'm not going to use the listening tool. I'm just going to hit play, and this is solo, so this is going to hear this. It's going to probably sound a little funky, but I'm the vocalist, and I am now singing the third time. I'll make this one, and I'm going to let it go a little longer, and I really like that one too. I think that's just brilliant. So you could do so much. So you can have immediately takes to layers, sing, bam. You ready? Sing again, bam, sing again. And they're just repeating it over and over until they feel like, okay, I did some really great performances there. Maybe you just take one of the layers. Maybe you do what I just did and you take pieces of them. It's that simple. Now you can do it manually or you can do it this way. The other great application I think this is really good for is if you're doing like a guitar solo. Now I've done this. So I've sat here and I play guitar, I play keyboards, I play bass, and I sing. I just don't play drums. I'm going to take drum lessons. I can bang them. He digresses always. I do amuse myself, so easily amused. What was I talking about? Oh, guitar solos. So I would sit here with my headphones on with the guitar, and I would go and I would have takes to layers on, and it'd be aligned to where I want it, and I would, hit the record button and then play the solo or play whatever or some kind of melody line that I'm working on. Oh, I like that. And I'm being in a creative mode, say, and then I hit stop and I hit record again, and it's just going to go start again and give me another layer, and I try it again, and you could be working out parts. Now you could do that by clicking the loop thing down here in the transport, and then highlight up here, do something like this. And if you highlight something like that and you hit the loop thing down here and you hit record or play, it'll stay within that loop, so it'll just keep going back and forth like that. That's one way to do it, but you're overwriting the things that you had done before. So if you want to be creative and you're working out something, you can be doing a melody line on a guitar, and I like that, and then just hit record again and continue. Well, modify the melody line, and then, or maybe when you're done, you like that part, and that part, and then you just do here, and you just bring them all up into the main track. Very cool stuff. I really do like this stuff. Now, again, here, after you're done and you've done this, and it's color-coded, you can go to this little button right here and hide the layers, because now you're done. You got what you wanted. But you don't want to get rid of the layers, so you could delete them. You can go like this and say, remove layer and stuff like that. why? And, it's only disk space, so I would just close it, and it's gone. And now you have your final recording of the great vocalist or your great guitar solo or melody line. Hopefully, this was helpful. I just think it's a very cool thing. And again, if you work in another DAW and there's a way to do this in other DAWs, make a comment down there and explain that. And because people might be making a decision on what DAW to buy, or maybe to upgrade or change. So it's really good stuff to help each other out. So if you like this, and also remember, check out my other recording tutorials. I got 4 more of them, plus about 26, 30 other tutorials on all kinds of stuff in the music thing, in the music world. Plus, I have tutorials on, if you are a budding novelist or a novelist or a poet, on how I wrote my first novel, which is out on Amazon under my name, and my first book of poetry, which is on Amazon. And you can look at that. I do have tutorials on how I did that. Now, everybody will do it their own way, just like you would do your music your own way, but it's good to hear the concepts and then the application that somebody did, so it'll help you out in terms of the path that you're taking. Plus, definitely check out my Radical Cathedral pseudo reality show about life. All kinds of episodes coming in that. Check it out. If you like all this stuff and you want to see more of it, please subscribe. It's easy. Just click the button, subscribe. If you like it, hit like. And the most important thing to me, and I say this at the end of all my tutorials, please share it. If you know somebody who's, oh, how do I do this, or how do I do that, or what DAW do I get, or what's an audio interface, and how do all those wires work together, share it with them. And, let them know there's all these tutorials out there, and we help each other out. So great. So please subscribe, like, and share, and check out my other music tutorials and my other non-music tutorials. And I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a great, awesome, beautiful, wonderful, astounding day. Cool. Take care. Bye.